Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is JT from Above and Below the Belt. I want to talk about Ellerbe would love to make Gervonta Davis Gary Russell fight. And one thing is, Gary Russell has been vocal lately now. Talk about Leo Santa Cruz, why that fight haven't happened, and he says Gervonta Davis don't want to fight him. I think Gary Russell, he's frustrated. And he should have been vocal 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say right now. But it's never too late. But he said he'd go up 130 to fight Gervonta Davis. You know what I'm saying? That'd be a pretty entertaining fight because both of them are the same height, got the same reach to it. The same. I think Gervonta Davis' reach might be a little longer than Gary Russell. But one thing is, this is basically about power and speed. You know what I'm saying? But Gary Russell do have a better IQ than Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is only 24 years old, but we definitely see if they do fight, if this fight ever happens. You know what I'm saying? Because Gervonta Davis, he ain't going to be fighting no Lomachenko no time, no soon. And one thing is, one thing, when I was reading this article, it says Leonard Ellerbe enjoyed reading Gary Russell's comments about boxing Gervonta Davis. The Major Promotion CEO respect Russell's confidence, capability, and pedigree. Ellerbe also is certain that Davis will beat the highly skilled southpaw if the fight Russell suggests comes to fruition. And one thing is kind of crazy. Me reading this article, he said some other things about Gary Russell. Ellerbe was saying that he's very confident and he's going to want to make that fight. When it do happen, if it do happen, he said he'll make that fight. But one thing, he said, I'm confident Davis might win. That's what Ellerbe said. But one thing is, do Gervonta Davis think that? Because one thing is, Gervonta Davis been vocal about Chance Crawford. He been somewhat vocal when it comes to Lomachenko. Somewhat. But he's still, to me, I think he's dodging Lomachenko, but he ain't gonna. But Gervonta Davis is not gonna fight Chance Crawford. That's not gonna happen. I remember one reporter asked him, "Will he fight Marky Garcia?" And he got quiet. You know what I'm saying? The only fight that he fought, and I don't think he was a elite fighter, Jose Pedraza to win that belt. You know what I'm saying? But I had Gervonta Davis on my lower 10 pound for pound list at the bottom. I'm thinking that I might get him. As I'm thinking about it, I think I might. He should. I don't think he should be on there. I'm thinking about it. I'm changing my mind about that. I think Jerry Hurst should be number 6. I'm not gonna stop saying that. And then if that's the case, then I think after that would be Marky Garcia. But Gervonta Davis be on my pound for pound list. It's just they are dodging and they ducking, whatever you want to call it, certain people. And I think he's fighting somebody. Who's that? Yugis Gamboa. The next fight in Baltimore for Gervonta Davis. I mean, dude been. He only got 2 losses, but they say he haven't looked good in his last prior bout. Yugis Gamboa. So I don't know about. I still would like to see that fight, but Yugis Gamboa is not the same fighter when he fought before he fought Terence Crawford. But he got to fight somebody. But one thing, he should be fighting Lomachenko and hopefully Gary Russell. But one thing is, but Gervonta Davis have been vocal about Gary Russell. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Gervonta Davis is really sure he can beat Gary Russell. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Gervonta Davis is sure that he could probably beat Lomachenko. But we got to see. And the thing about it is, it's just Mayweather and Ellerbe is moving his career a little bit wrong to me. I think they're going to mess up his career, man. I mean, when people keep on talking about you cherry picking and stuff like that, and I'm saying that right now. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to win that fight against Yugis Gamboa. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. I don't know, man. I just think that some people think that Powell, he might beat Gary Russell. He might beat Gary Russell. You never know. I know he's stronger than Gary Russell. But one thing is, let me tell you something, going back to Gary Russell. Who's that? Joseph Diaz? I think that was Jojo Diaz, whatever, fought Gary Russell. And that was a good fight. That was a really entertaining fight. And Jojo Diaz, he didn't throw a lot of punches. He threw power punches to the body and to the head. he threw the more heavier punches, I would say. And I think he was getting to Gary Russell, but Gary Russell held up. You know what I'm saying? He held up like a champion that he is. And but Gary Russell did enough to win that fight convincingly. You know what I'm saying? He did enough. You know what I'm saying? He was throwing a lot of punches, but it was getting in, and sometimes he was hitting on the glove at the same time, because you know JoJo was blocking some of them shots. You know, the punches. I would say. It was a real good fight. I would definitely say that, because I remember that fight. I think it was the moment. It was I think being on that spotlight, on that level, JoJo kind of froze up a little bit. That's what it looked like to me. He probably could have got Gary Russell out of there if he would have thrown more punches at the same time. This fight would have been different. But that's just my opinion. But at the same time, Gary Russell got the ring IQ, and that's what sets him apart from. That's what made him win that fight. You know what I'm saying? He knew when to throw punches and get out the way from JoJo Diaz body punches at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So and then on top of that, you can definitely see on the faces. I mean, their faces when the outcome. JoJo Diaz's face was messed up a little bit at the same time compared to Gary Russell. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know one thing, Tank Davis might can get him out of there as I'm thinking about it right now, because JoJo Diaz did a good. He had that was a good fight. I think a second rematch, man, it might be totally different. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real, but I don't know. But Tank Davis, hey man, you gotta start being vocal against the people that is being vocal against you. You know what I'm saying? Because the only reason why you vocal against Terrence Crawford, because Terrence Crawford's on the other side of the street. And you know that fight between you and him is not going to get made. They not even talking about you and him fighting him, because y'all in two different weight classes. He's not going to go all the way down to 135 to 130 to fight you. He ain't going to do that. Terrence Crawford going to stay at 147 or might go down to 140. He might go up to 150. You never know. I don't know. He might. You never know. But he's got to clear out this weight division. So, but we'll see. But what y'all think about Ellerbe talking about he's going to want to make this fight, or you know he would love to make this fight between Gervonta Davis and Gary Russell. You know what I'm saying? And he's saying that Gervonta Davis, he picked Gervonta Davis 100% over Gary Russell to win this fight, and he might be right, as I'm thinking about it, because I remember that JoJo Diaz, that was a real good fight, but Gary Russell did win that convincingly, and it was ring IQ. He didn't knock down Gary Russell. I don't think he didn't have the strength to knock down Gary Russell. And when it comes to Gervonta Davis, as I think about it, this ain't a prediction video. This is just going off what Ellerbe's talking about. Leonard Ellerbe was talking about. But I don't think that Gary Russell won't. I don't think he'll knock out Tank Davis, but he will outbox him. He has the ring IQ to outbox Tank Davis. But knock him out or knock him down, I don't think that might happen. You know what I'm saying? Because when last time Gary Russell did knock out a person on high status level, I would say. Because I can't. Gervonta Davis is not an A level fighter yet, because he haven't fought the big competition yet. I think he's a B level fighter. You know what I'm saying? But if Tank Davis fighting Gary Russell. Fighting Gary Russell, I think that fight. I think he can knock down or knock him out. I think he can, because I'm going off the other fights. But the other opponents is not in Gary Russell. They not on Gary Russell level either at the same time. So possibly he might not get out. He might not can knock out Gary Russell or knock him down. We'll see if the fight ever get made. But Gervonta Davis got to think that he can beat Gary Russell. But if he don't think he can beat Gary Russell, then this fight is not going to ever get made. I don't think this fight will ever get made. I don't think he'll ever fight Gary Russell, because he's not vocal. Because the thing about it is, Gary Russell been vocal about talking about Gervonta Davis haven't fought nobody. He said something about Gervonta Davis. Gary Russell said Gervonta Davis don't want to fight him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think Gervonta Davis do believe that, because he haven't came out and said that, you know, anything. He hadn't rebutted anything what Gary Russell was saying. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But this is a fight to be made in maybe next year or at the end of this year. We don't know. Hopefully, after this fight with Tank Davis and Ugas Gamboa, he'll fight Gary Russell. But I don't know. Maybe Lomachenko, but I don't know. They got to put him in there with somebody with good or great fighters. I think the competition that Gervonta Davis is fighting right now is C-level fighters or whatever. They're not. They you know what I'm saying. That's what he's supposed to do. Get him out of there. The way he's fighting them. So, but this is a fight I would definitely see. And what y'all think about this fight? And what y'all think about what Ellerbe said? You know what I'm saying? Do you think somebody's going, if they ever fight, do you think somebody's going to get knocked out or knocked down? Or do you think it's going to go 12 rounds? Do you think Gary Russell can beat Davis? Do you think Davis can beat Gary Russell? Leave a comment at the bottom of my page. Subscribe to my page. Like my page. Hit the notification bell for new videos from me. This is JT from Above and Below the Belt. Bye.